Hi everybody, welcome to Dog Talk. I'm Pat Becker and we have a fantastic show for you today. We're going to compare some breeds. Some people get some breeds confused with others, and we're going to put a definite end to that.
Come on, let's go outside, let's take a walk in the sun. There are things to learn and things to see, a big wide world for you, your dog, and me. Dog Talk.
I would like to introduce you to Michelle Rowland. How are you?
Great, how are you?
And this beautiful dog, a dog maybe you have not seen this breed. This dog is a Quevas, and his name is Solon. And welcome, for goodness sakes.
Thank you.
Tell me, how old is Solon?
He is 5 months today.
5 months old, so obviously he's going to grow.
Yeah.
Now, you got him where?
I got him from a breeder in Montana.
In Montana. So I find it so interesting because in this part of the country, not a lot of people have seen this kind of breed. The Quevas is a Hungarian breed that a lot of people are not familiar with. And this particular breed was excellent at pulling carts, even herding. They did a lot of hunting with this breed too, which is, a lot of people don't know that. But in Hungary, they really kind of, as you say, they got down. So every one of their dogs did something that would appreciate them to their owners. And the Quevas did about everything. And I will say that a lot of people, if they saw this breed of dog, would probably mistakenly identify it as a Great Pyrenees.
Yeah.
And as your little Quevas gets older, the hair will get a little bit thicker, and he will look more like the Pyrenees. Pyrenees is, of course, a French dog.
Yes.
And I have it on great authority that the French saw the Quevas, loved it so much, found a great need to have it in their country, so they stole, I am told, a stud. So they integrated this with another dog, a bigger dog, and it turned out to be the Great Pyrenees. But we're talking about the Quevas today. Now, this little dog, what do you do with him? Have you socialized him?
Yes, so with the Quevas, they do have strong guarding instincts, and so it's very important from a young age, if you expect them to be around certain things, that you socialize them to that. So he lives essentially in the city, so he needs to be socialized to people and dogs and normal city noises as opposed to farm noises, because he's not on a farm.
That's exactly right. And the important thing is to do it when they're young.
Yes.
Because this hardwires them. If you wait until they're a year or two, they have already experienced maybe some things that are negative.
Yes.
About people or other dogs. So there is a care there. So what do you do with him? I understand that you're going to do some agility.
Yes, so he's been started on just some puppy agility, mainly working with me, attention, not really the formal agility obstacles, but figuring out how to work with me and how to run and figure out what it is I want him to do.
To kind of focus on you.
Yeah. Because
in agility, as we know, the handler directs the dog through whatever. Come here, baby. He says, I'm going to go exploring. So you are working with Twister Agility, I understand?
That's correct, yes.
Couldn't be in better hands.
Yes.
Well, we thank you so much for bringing him and introducing our viewers to the Quevas, because actually they do make great family dogs. They are good for that. And we'd like to give you a $100 gift certificate to A1 Pet Emporium and all kind of toys for this little baby, because he is going to love toys. Are you going to love toys?
Yeah.
Are you going to love toys? Tell me. Is that a good one? Is that a good one? Is that a good toy for you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good toy for you.
Thank
Yes. You want
Thank
that?
I will play
yeah.
with that.
You can have that. Yes, you can. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Every year, families in Oklahoma unknowingly spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of neglect, abuse, and disease. When you buy a puppy from a parking lot or flea market, you could be supporting the cruelty of puppy mills that profit from dogs bred in abusive conditions. Help us stop the cycle. To learn how, go to roomtolove.org.
A1 Pet Emporium is Oklahoma's authority on healthy nutrition for dogs and cats. Quality does not have to cost more, and we only have the best. If your pet suffers from allergies, digestive issues, skin infections, or hair loss, it may be the result of their diet. A1 Pet Emporium can help. We offer pet portraits monthly, adorable rescue animals every Saturday from noon to 4, and free dog and cat food samples. Locally owned and operated, we want to be your neighborhood pet store.
Recently, I have heard about a lot of mistaken identities in a lot of different breeds. As we saw with the Quavass, a lot of people would have called it a Great Pyrenees, right? Well, I have been hearing things about inhumane treatment toward breeds of dog, and specifically the pit bull, an American pit bull. So people have said to me, this is a pit bull. And I've said, no, you're wrong. That isn't a pit bull. So we're here today to kind of identify the breed. There are a lot of breeds mistakenly for them because they do have distinctive features. Now, if this dog came running toward you with a happy tail or a sad tail, what would you think? Would you be afraid? Would you call it a pit bull? I'd call it an English pointer. This is an English pointer, and yet it has some of the features of the American pit bull. This is also included. Some of the pit bull terriers have this look. These are all English pointers. It's as simple as that. And today, we're going to define the anatomy of this dog. And these particular breeds can absolutely be misidentified. I've had calls rurally from people that have said, I have an American pit bull out here and we don't know what to do with him. And I would say, send me a picture, send me the story. And guess what? 2 of them have turned out to be boxers. So tell me, this is Bridget Armstrong. How are you?
Hi. Good.
And your little dog's name is?
Luna.
Can we stand Luna up
Sure.
here?
Luna,
because I'd like to show, as I showed the picture of the pointer, very similar in head, eyes are a little different, tail is long. Now if this dog were out lifting its leg and pointing, you might be very confused. Now this is an American pit bull,
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Where did you get your dog?
I got her from a small kennel here in Oklahoma City.
Aha, and so what have you done with her?
A lot of things. We do frisbee, we do fly ball. We're starting an agility and barn hunt. I joke that she's my sport utility dog because she's so athletic and open to everything.
And very, very friendly. And beautiful, I might add. Her conformation is very good. This is what I really like about her. They do make good conformation dogs. They make great dogs on every set. And it's a terrible, sad story that they have such a bad rap, as they say, because when you raise one of these and raise it right, it turns out to be perfect. So this is a boxer. So Michelle, tell me about your boxer.
Well, Alex, he was made in Oklahoma. We got him here in Choctaw, and he is 11 months old. He is just very, very energetic, mischievous.
Yes, you can see. Come here, Alex. Come here. Come here. Now, the faces on these dogs, if you will look at them, there is a definite difference, and people will get them mistaken. As a matter of fact, the pointer that I had looked very much like a boxer to me, with the way that we had her photographed. But it is so interesting, and I want people to understand that these dogs are wonderful dogs. Pits are wonderful dogs, and you can, we have Chihuahuas that will attack you, but boxers are good too. Now, tell me the story about the man in the park.
Well, when Alex was a little bit smaller, I took the kids to the park, and of course, wanting to get Alex kind of socialized around people and other animals, we took him, and there was a little girl that was very excited to come approach Alex. And of course, being very excitable as boxers are, I reined him in really close, and I had him sit, and I let the girl know she could pet him. The dad yanked her away, told me that, oh, she's allergic to dogs. And so I was like, okay. And then as they walked off, the gentleman scolds his daughter and he says, don't ever touch pit bulls. They always bite. And it just, that just broke my heart.
And the reason I wanted you to relate that story is because it is continual.
Yes.
And I think when we definitively identify a certain breed as being heinous, it's a big mistake. So folks, really, judge a dog by its character. Not by the way it looks, okay? And identification is very important. So ask an owner if you can approach their dog. If they say yes, approach and pet. We really appreciate you coming in, Bridget, and you too, Michelle. Thank you very, very much. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Dobby was surrendered to the El Reno Pound in August on a Friday afternoon. They brought him back to Pets and People, and I decided I would take him on as a foster. He was 2 pounds, about 6 weeks old, had no hair, covered in scabs, was one of the most horrific cases of Demodex that I'd ever seen.
Ivermectin, the traditional drug used to combat this condition, did not work on Dobie.
We had to find an alternate treatment to keep this little dog alive.
That alternative came in the form of holistic medicine.
Basically, what we're doing with holistic medicine is we are identifying what's wrong, we are supporting their immune system to handle the problem itself, and then we're using the pain control methods or conventional medicine to help reduce the pain while that's happening, and then we give them vitamins to help support that healing process.
Yeah, let's try it. I mean, it's his only hope. So we started him on a Demodex treatment with just using essential oils and supplements, and it worked.
I've seen over and over time again where holistic medicine in the form like homeopathy is so much better and easier for them to take that it just, and all we're trying to do many times is tip their immune system, tip the scale just a little bit so that their immune system can do the work.
An extra push for Dobie that may have saved his life.
I'm not advocating using it instead of conventional medicine. I'm saying it can help, and you can use it in addition to conventional medicine.
If you're interested in adopting Dobie, please contact Pets and People. Pat, back to you.
Well, we're going to move right along with our identification issue. Now, we saw a pointer that looked like maybe a boxer or a pit bull. We were introduced to an American pit bull and a boxer, both who had beautiful conformation, very well bred. And now I would like to introduce you to Christy Surrett and her dog, Tank. Look here, Tank. Tank has gone to sleep. But Tank is a combination of American Pit Bull and Boxer. So we have combined the two here. Look here, baby, is this good? Come on, Tank, come here. Well, come here. Yes. And you can see that Tank is a brindle, has a long tail, typical ears, but the thing that is really outstanding is his marking on his face. Now, you don't see that in many pit bulls or many boxers, but he is a beautiful dog. So, Christy, tell me about this dog.
I got him from the Bella Foundation. They rescued him from a shelter. I believe he was 4 or 5 weeks old when they picked him up, and he went into a foster home, and I was fostering through them at the time, and I saw his picture on our Facebook page. I just fell in love with him and just had to have him, and I was the lucky one that got to adopt him.
Oh, I'll tell you, I'm glad I didn't see him first. He is just outstanding. So tell me about his temperament. Tell me about his disposition.
He's a very good boy. He's still a puppy, so he's very playful, but he is very good. He lives with 3 other bigger dogs than him.
Mm-hmm. And what breeds of dogs are those?
Well. They're all mixes. There's 2 Saint Bernard, Great Pyrenees mixes, and then a Pit Bull Rottweiler mix.
Wow, he's got a few standards that he can live up to there. Well, I am so appreciative that you brought him in because it does define the look, you see.
Yeah.
And anyone who sees this dog is going to wonder, what kind of dog is that?
Oh yeah, everyone's attracted to him.
Oh, absolutely. I can understand why. Well, we have a $100 gift certificate for you to take Tank into A1 Pet Emporium. And we've got some great toys here for him that I think that he will enjoy. Oh, what is that, Tank? I love doing this.
Oh, he
what
loves
is that,
toys.
Tanker? Is that a good toy? Is that a good toy for you? Yes, I think it is. You can have that. Yes, you can. Thank you so much, Christy, for bringing him in. And keep in touch. I want to find out how this dog is doing.
Okay, I will.
All right? And we are going to now hear from Crystal Kelsey, who is from the, you want to get right in there. Yes, you do. she is from Barnes & Noble. It's hard for me to leave talking to you, isn't it?
Hey, buddy.
She's from Barnes & Noble, and she's going to tell us about some more breeds available. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are so fortunate to have Kelsey with us today. Crystal Kelsey is my contact at Barnes & Noble.
It's good to be here.
Well, we appreciate you coming, and as I say, this is the first opening of the season for us, so you are part of the family too. We've had you all on so many times, and we just love Barnes & Noble. So keeping with the subject and the issues that we've been discussing today, what did you bring us? I see this book, the face on this book looks a little familiar. Mm-hmm. That is a little boxer, is it not?
Yep.
Okay. So you brought a lot of different books for us. Show us what you brought.
Well, I brought a few books that just show general breeds. They usually all have gradings on, upkeep as far as their coats and bathing and their temperaments with children and other dogs. Mm-hmm. So that's these, and then I have some breed-specific books that we have.
But and it is so important, and we have said this over and over again, folks, when you select a dog, and please, for goodness sakes, don't do it on impulse. You go to one of those little shops that has dogs, you go to a rescue. A rescue will actually give you a certain period of time to adjust to the dog, and then if the dog doesn't work out, you can return that dog. If you buy a puppy, you don't really know what you're getting at that particular point. And remember, an older dog, when that dog is rescued or taken off the street, doesn't reveal its true personality until it's comfortable in its surroundings. Picking a breed is very important, because then you know what? You know the lifestyle that you can give this dog. You know how the dog is going to be comfortable with it. And when you choose books like these that have the multiple breeds in them, you can do some research, which is really very important. They are, I see the Chihuahua, which we have had on today. Love the little Chihuahuas. I guess they were on last week, but I love those dogs. The Yorkshire Terriers. As I say, they are, the Dachshunds, absolutely fantastic. But it does pay to do this, and Barnes & Noble carries them. As a matter of fact, Crystal, I want to very proudly tell you, every book in my library here is from Barnes & Noble.
I believe it.
I trust Barnes & Noble, and anything that you can't find, folks, they can order it for you. So if there is a breed like the Quavass that you would like to explore, like to research, they can order that for you. So you go in there and you talk to, Crystal can do it. And all of the guys are really good in there. When you're not there, I depend on all of them. So we appreciate so much you bringing these in for us. So all of these books that you can get, and these are obviously the ones that you would recommend out of your library.
Yeah.
It has been great. I appreciate it so much. And actually, I'm going to take this book right there and this one.
All right.
All righty? And we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Crystal, thank you so much. As usual, it's so informative. Just love it. These are great books, great choices.
Well, thank you.
Every year, families in Oklahoma unknowingly spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of neglect, abuse, and disease. When you buy a puppy from a parking lot or flea market, you could be supporting the cruelty of puppy mills that profit from dogs bred in abusive conditions. Help us stop the cycle. To learn how, go to roomtolove.org.
A1 Pet Emporium is Oklahoma's authority on healthy nutrition for dogs and cats. Quality does not have to cost more, and we only have the best. If your pet suffers from allergies, digestive issues, skin infections, or hair loss, it may be the result of their diet. A1 Pet Emporium can help. We offer pet portraits monthly, adorable rescue animals every Saturday from noon to 4, and free dog and cat food samples. Locally owned and operated, we want to be your neighborhood pet store.
Well, we are going to wrap up our show today by inquiring from a few very, very smart trainers in our state. I call these the Sergeant in Arms. And that's what they are. These are my friends. These ladies know what they're doing. Annabelle, how are you?
I'm
Annabelle
wonderful,
Connors.
Pat. How are you?
Good. Kathy Rasmussen.
A little raspy, but I'm good, thank you.
It fits your name. And Angie Dayton, how are you, my dear?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yes. Now we're talking about the different breeds of dogs, and as trainers, you have ideas about them. Now, of course, Annabelle, we know that you train the governor's dogs.
Yes.
And they are primarily labs.
Yes, they
which
are.
are fairly easy to train.
Yes.
A little better than that, maybe. So, Kathy, you train all different types. Mm-hmm. And you have run the gambit. I have viewed you before doing that. Big dogs, little dogs, every kind of dogs.
Yes, ma'am.
And Angie with the Obedience Club. Of course, you guys do too. So you are Canine Academy, which is famous in these parts, I might add.
It's scary, yes.
So I've got some questions for you I'm going to kind of throw at you. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Who trains easier, men or women?
Oh boy. Depends on the person. I think men have a little easier time of it sometimes because some of them carry themselves with a little more authority and the dog seems to follow.
Yeah, exactly. Now, and I've heard just the opposite from some people, but we're talking about the people who come to you wanting to get their dogs trained. Kathy, what would you say?
Mostly we have women, and some of them still want to treat the dog like a child. The man has a trouble getting the happy voice, but when he has to have the discipline, it's a little bit easier for the man. But we really have mostly women, and it's kind of hard to say that the men wouldn't do a good job.
Yes. Well, I'm sure they do a good job. Just the easy training, getting through to some men is hard. Angie, what do you think?
I think it depends on the man and the dog and the woman and the dog, because I see it in all different directions. Actually, my answer to that would be the children. Because
that tells
they
you right
will
there.
listen and they try hard and they will practice.
Yeah, and I think this is very, very true. Another question. Children, why is it the amount of children who get bitten? Why is it mostly kids?
The way they approach the dog, they haven't been trained how to approach the dog and how to be safe with dogs.
Okay, so what would you say in an approach?
Well, I always tell the children not to get their face in their face, to let the dog smell them and approach them slowly. Kids tend to want to run up on them and get in their face. And
makes a difference, doesn't it, Kathy? Would you say?
It really does. They need to be monitored, not left alone, especially with puppies. And my thing is to teach the children to always ask permission and to reach out with the backside of their hand to let the dog sniff them first.
Exactly.
And then just try to scratch the neck and the chin instead of reaching over their heads.
Yeah, so we're talking about voices that I noticed. So what does a high-pitched voice do, Angie?
It tends to get the dog excited.
Yes.
And there are times when you want that, but there are times when you decidedly do not. And children have high voices, and sometimes the dog gets excited that it wouldn't normally be simply because of the high-pitched noise, whereas softer, quieter voice would keep the dog maybe in one place.
Yes, very definitely.
So let me ask you a question then. With training of dogs, what is the most important thing that you would tell a person that was coming in to train their dog?
I think the relationship between the person and the dog is the most important thing, and I try to help them build that relationship so they have communication.
Yeah, what do you think, Kathy?
The time spent with the dog. A lot of times with the children trying to learn to train, I tell them they have to take on more of the responsibility, not just let mom and dad do everything. And a lot of it is the time spent.
Mm-hmm. And what
I
would you
agree
say,
with what you all say, but I also would say that it kind of depends on the person's personality and the dog's personality, and if you've got the right dog for you.
Oh, absolutely. Choosing the dog is the first thing. And you know, I find too, and I tell people, it's all in communication. When that dog trusts you, because dogs survive by reading the body language of people. People can communicate by reading the dog's body language. Guys, it has been great. Will you come back? I'm going to have this forum from time to time. Would you do it?
Sure. Love to.
Okay, so guys, it has been wonderful, and we're going to toss this over to Ted. Ted has a tip for us today.
All right, thanks, Pat. And before we get to that tip, let's come on over here and we're going to talk about Smokey, the Gentle Guardian.
Yes, love this little book.
This is a great book for kids. We have a local author from Norman, and Smokey kind of guides the family. Okay, takes the family to and from the market. We learn some lessons about Smokey, and it's a Tate Publishing book, so we can get it right here in Oklahoma.
Yes, absolutely. I highly recommend this little book. It's a very gentle little guy, and it's very, very good. Also want to mention there again, one of our sponsors, the OK Pet Magazine, and we're going to be coming out with new articles about that. So what are these things?
Now, this isn't necessarily grooming your dog, a little self-grooming, okay? When the dog puts the hair on you, because we love to hug our dogs, I like to wrestle, and you get one of these. Now, this is the lint roller.
Right.
I like to have one of these in the car.
Seen a lot of those around.
Okay. Also good for the apartment. You can put one at work here. We have about 12 in the green room. So these are great, pretty inexpensive.
Yes.
I like this. It looks like a sponge, but it is not a sponge. Can you tell me what I do with this?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Basically what you do is you just brush it dry, not wet, and the hair just comes off.
Wow.
You can
so it
remove
attaches itself to
Right. It's called the Pet Hair Lifter. It's a revolution.
Where can you get that?
Well, you can get it at any of your local stores. This one particularly comes from Gonzo Products, which is made in Illinois. That's where I'm from.
Okay, there you go. Illinois.
And finally, these are just regular towels. You were telling me that even just a dry washcloth.
Yes, dry washcloths are great for grooming because it roughs the skin. The dogs love it. It's like a massage at the same time.
Yeah, my dog Duke really likes the washcloth situation, but sometimes the bath is a little bit of a problem.
I can understand that. So what do these do?
It's just the dry washcloths. You wipe them down and then you wash them.
Yeah, now
up to 40 washes.
Yeah, this is a little bit different, and it has kind of a sticky thing, so I can see that it would be like a lint collector or a hair collector. How neat is that? You're not going to do that again, are you? No.
Okay, all right. Well, before we get done fighting, we just want to say you can pick up any of these. You go to our Facebook, we'll be chatting about it. Join that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ted. Your tips are always great. Guys, you take care. We'll see you next week.
Talking about dogs, talking about big dogs, talking about little dogs, oh yeah. Chasing the ball, chasing the cat, digging holes, thing like that. Dogs, talking about dogs. Laughing dogs, sad dogs, happy dogs, mad dogs. Dogs, just talking about dogs. Lost and alone, running the street, checking the garbage, looking to eat. Out there sad and on their own, the law will get them if they got no home. Dogs, talking about dogs. Dogs, we're talking about dogs. You say they were angels sent from above, then a year or two later you fell out of love. You dumped them, man, and kicked them out. Now what the heck was that about? Dogs, we're talking about dogs. Dogs, them poor little dogs. Talking about big dogs, talking about a little dog, oh yeah. Chasing the ball, chasing the cat, digging the hole, things like that. Dogs, we're talking about dogs. Laughing dogs, sad dogs, happy dogs, mad dogs. Dogs, just talking about dogs. Dogs, just talking about dogs.